Just was an overview of the logic behind this, and I think you raised very good questions, and also I will try to clarify those. The original intention, I think I would really like to clarify this, of a Barbosa compliance standard was never ever to reinvent the wheel. It was to build on existing standards. And the document was never ever to create anything that was new to the Ugandan or Cameroonian or Kenyan bureaus of standards. It was a draft to provide a logic of reasoning that can help the National Bureau of Standards in a country coalesce or connect their standards in a way that if someone was to use, because the standards, clean energy standards are already here anyway.
Yes, yeah.
Organic standards are already here anyway. If someone is dealing with solar irrigation, those standards are already there. We're not going to reinvent any new standards. So this was a framework, so to speak, to help guide or provide that support to the National Bureau of Standards so that they can connect their already existing standards and ensure that if someone was to use that, he will then connect the dots across the entire continuum, which is an advantage, but it was never going to be forced down on anyone to be able to do so. Why? Why am I saying this? Like you rightly said, if Uganda, for example, is to implement their national determined contributions, which within the national determined contributions, they have climate smart agriculture, they have clean energy, they have information communication technology, they have things to add value to agricultural production. When you discuss this, the standard for clean energy is independent. It is not linked to how you are going to produce, to organic standards. Yes, the organic standard is independent. It is a standalone. I will buy organic standards. I will buy clean energy standards. But what if we were to connect this, that as I have organic and I'm producing, and my vegetables are dry using solar, and I get that as a one go-to, that makes my life easier. This is the innovation of what the word Barbosa is an inclusive framework across the continent, bringing different actors on board, because at the end of the day, the utilization of these standards and the operationalization of it will be done by the actors on the ground, but enforced through the National Bureau of Standards. So in a nutshell, the Barbosa compliance standards represent the already existing standards, but providing an opportunity so that they can be connected from farm, because we're dealing with already actions on the ground that you already have the standards for. And where the actions, for example, agroforestry, conservation, all this comes under the organic part, clean energy to add value, they already exist. But if you were to have a standard that capture all these things, which you already have, that is what we want, because that then becomes an incentive to drive your vision to implement the Sustainable Development Goals and the Paris in one go. If we don't do that, we will have all the standards in sectors and implemented in silos, energy, utilizing clean energy without necessarily adding value just for domestic, will not necessarily address the problems that we face in Africa or in Uganda here. So this was to become an operational tool to help them drive transformation in an inclusive way and create more opportunities. The draft that was presented here was not cast in stone. It was to provide a logic of thinking that we have. We are not experts, but we have that logic that we see an innovation in a market-driven way that can be able to incentivize transformational change, implementing the vision, implementing the Paris Climate Agreement and the Sustainable Development Goals. Then it is the Ugandan National Bureau of Standards then needs to look at it and say, oh, we already have these agricultural standards, the organic standards. We have the clean energy standards. We already have ICT standards for certain ABCD. So our already existing standards will be coalesced together, and then the framework of the Barbosa will help in domesticating this, because we can be able to guide on how nature-based agricultural techniques can be done.